to you and welcome to Daybreak. I'm John Husock, sitting in for Chuck Pasek this morning. And guess who's 40 years young today? Nope, that's not our trivia question today, but it just happens that Julie Nixon Eisenhower will be celebrating her 40th birthday. And on this day in 1965, William Booth announced the establishment of the Salvation Army. We're going to be hearing from Ernie Koopman and his band a little bit later in the program this morning. Vicki Olson will be along to have the trivia question, and we'll have some other interesting features for you during this half hour. But first, a look at that monotonous weather story. The high pressure that's been baking the northern plains is also dominating most of the weather elsewhere in the United States. During the night, a weak upper air impulse brushed across North Dakota and northern Minnesota, triggering a few thunderstorms, and a few severe thunderstorms were reported during the night in the northwest portion of North Dakota. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will extend from Texas across the lower Mississippi and lower Tennessee valleys to the South Atlantic coastal states today. Showers and thunderstorms will be most numerous over Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and southeast Louisiana, with widely scattered showers and thunderstorms developing over northern Minnesota, scattered portions of the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountain states, and a few showers will occur over Oregon and Washington. Thunderstorms were scattered last evening along a small area of the high plains from southwestern South Dakota and eastern parts of the state of Wyoming through eastern Colorado into sections of New Mexico. Wind gusts up to 61 miles an hour were reported at Reddig, South Dakota last evening. Thunderstorms also developed over North Dakota, and winds gusted up to 68 miles an hour at Dickinson, North Dakota last night. Our forecast for Minnesota calls for scattered thunderstorms in the north, mainly this morning. Continued very hot and humid, but breezy. Highs from the upper 80s northeast to around 100 in the southwest. Tonight and Wednesday, continued hot and humid, but breezy, and a chance of thunderstorms in the north, with lows mostly in the 70s, highs mostly in the 90s. For Iowa, hot and humid today with a sunny sky, high mainly in the 90s, mostly clear tonight, lows in the upper 60s to middle 70s. No change for Wednesday with continued hot and humid condition, highs in the 90s and mostly sunny skies. Our low last night was 64 after a high yesterday of 95. No precipitation during the past 24 hours. Currently 72 degrees beneath a clear sky. Winds out of the south at 8 to 12 miles an hour. Barometric pressure 30.01. And our forecast for today for our Channel 12 area, 93 to 98 will be the high range of temperatures, followed by lows tonight of 72 to 75. Skies clear and winds south at 10 to 20 miles an hour. So we're looking at continued hot and humid temperatures, looking at the extended forecast. Thursday through Saturday, record or near record heat in the south and east Thursday, turning cooler statewide Friday and Saturday with scattered thunderstorms possible in the north Thursday and the central and southern portions of our state of Minnesota on Friday. Highs in the 90s north, 105 in the south Thursday, in the 80s north to the low 90s in the south on Friday, and in the upper 70s north to the upper 80s in southern Minnesota on Saturday. Lows will range from the middle 60s north to middle 70s south Thursday and Friday, in the upper 50s north to the upper 60s south Saturday. So, not too much change in this.
Just can't seem to get away from it.
Sure. Well, it was a fine 4th of July, at least where we were. We went to Mason City yesterday to be with some relatives and have the annual 4th of July picnic. And the weather was hot, but breezy and comfortable under the shade of the big oak tree. And they've had some rain down there. Things are green.
Really?
In fact, not too far south. You know, at about 30, 40 miles south of here, things are looking much better. And of course, as you go in the opposite direction, they're looking worse.
Right. I noticed heading up to the Twin Cities this weekend, things were really brown once you get up close to Jordan.
Yes, indeed. Well, all right, you're in charge now this morning, and you've got the agenda worked out. What comes next?
Well, we'll take a look at news and sports, and we'll take a break right now and come back with our news.
This is update for today. Medelia's annual Park Days celebration opens Friday night with a donkey baseball game, hog roast, and dance. Other activities include golf, baseball, softball, and horseshoe tournaments, entertainment, and special programs. Basket weaving demonstration will be presented Saturday at Brown County Historical Museum, New Ulm, with a lace-making demonstration Sunday at Harkin's Store. Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish, Easton, celebrates Friendship Days this weekend with an auction and dance Saturday, polka mass Sunday at 10, Shimolusky Fun Time at 1. Fifth annual Rookies Triathlon gets underway with registration Saturday at 6:30 a.m. Cicada Singing Hills Wayside Rest on Highway 60 in Elysian. Call for information. New Richland Farm and City Days Parade is Sunday. Meadow Lutheran Church south of Pemberton celebrates their 120th anniversary with a hog roast picnic Sunday, program, games, and entertainment. Bend of the River Festival Parade is Sunday beginning at 1 in Mankato. MSU Highland Summer Theater production Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat opens this week at the Ted Paul Theater. Call the box office to reserve your tickets. Theo's support group for widows and widowers meets the second Monday of each month at 7:30 at Lutheran Social Services in Mankato. For information, call 625-7660.
Well, our good morning wish this morning goes out to Ingrid Oswald of Lake Crystal. I hope you have a good day and try to stay cool. It's going to be a warm one.
No question about that. High temperatures again approaching that century mark, and that's nothing to look forward to.
No, not at all.
Okay, we'll take a look at the news now, and we'll call on Vicki for that.
Okay. Leading our headlines this morning, a Pentagon team left Washington yesterday for the Persian Gulf to perform a thorough investigation of the U.S. Navy's accidental downing of an Iranian commercial jet. President Reagan vows to wait on a Navy probe before deciding whether to make reparations to families of the 290 people killed. The Navy says the Iranian jet was outside its prescribed air corridor Sunday when a U.S. warship mistook the aircraft for an F-15 fighter jet and fired 2 missiles. And the Ayatollah Khomeini is calling on Iranians to wage what he called an all-out war with the United States in the wake of the Navy's downing of Air Flight 655. He did not elaborate on how Iran should wage that war. One foreign diplomat said the anger being incited against the United States in the aftermath of Sunday's incident may breathe new winds into the sails of Iran's armies. Well, an estimated 16,500 people showed up yesterday at Florida's Kennedy Space Center to look at the shuttle Discovery, now on the launch pad to meet a September blastoff date. Technicians rolled the orbiter into position on the 4th of July in a special ceremony that was attended by over 2,000 NASA workers. Discovery must pass a crucial main engine test firing before it can take off on the first post-Challenger flight. And an unknown camper who shot off a bottle rocket that started a wildfire near Yosemite National Park in California faces up to a $300,000 fine. The blaze has spread to more than 2,200 acres. A spokesman for the U.S. Forest Service said whoever caused the blaze can be fined to cover the cost of fighting that fire. The spokesman said an arrest may be made soon. In Iowa, Arnold's Park authorities report the dock in that lakeside town overloaded with 4th of July revelers partially collapsed yesterday and threw several dozen youths into the water, but no injuries were reported. The collapse occurred late yesterday as hundreds of young people swarmed the beach in the waters of West Lake Okoboji at Smith's Bay. Police Chief Wayne Fitchett says the dock, just like the beach, was just plain overloaded. Well, from Minnesota news, Duluth police say the 4th of July fireworks celebration was only a few minutes old when most of the fireworks exploded, but there were no injuries. A police spokesman says only one injury was reported last night and was apparently minor. Several small fires were started by the explosion, but fire officials said by 11:30 p.m. firefighters had those blazes under control. A fire spokesman said the fires involved a pier and several structures, but there were no injuries involved with the fires. The spokesman was not sure how many fires were involved. And at least 5 persons died in Minnesota traffic accidents over the holiday weekend. 2 died Sunday following separate accidents. A dispatcher with the Cass County Sheriff's Department was fatally injured on his way to work when his motorcycle collided with a pickup truck. He was identified as 33-year-old Timothy O'Rourke of Hackensack, who was injured late Saturday. He died after being transferred to North Memorial Medical Center in Robbinsdale. And an Annandale man was fatally injured in a two-car collision near Annandale. 30-year-old Joseph Laliberte died in the same hospital shortly after the crash. His two children were treated for minor injuries at a Buffalo hospital. And the body of an 18-year-old Jackson woman was recovered from Clear Lake, but the search for a second presumed drowning victim in a separate incident on southern Minnesota lakes has been halted. A 25-year-old Faribault man was presumed drowned in Cannon Lake west of Faribault. Officials say he went down Sunday while helping push a pontoon boat. His name has not been released. The search presumed early yesterday but was halted about 7 p.m. last night. Officials say he and a friend were on the boat when the engine stopped. And the body of a Jackson woman identified as 18-year-old Crystal Ann Benson was recovered yesterday. Officials say she was thrown from a boat Sunday afternoon. The boat was towing an inflated raft, and she fell overboard when the driver attempted to make a sudden turn. And finally, locally, Carol Adamson was crowned the 1988 Bend of the River Queen in ceremonies held last night at Blakesley Field on the Mankato State University campus. The festivities included a band concert, and the evening was topped off with the traditional fireworks. Again, we send our congratulations out to Carol.
Indeed we do. She's a nice, nice lady.
Very nice. I guess she's a 27-year resident of Mankato.
Well, quite an event last night, and particularly getting all those cars out of the Blakesley Field area following that fireworks display with the traffic limited by the road construction. Right. It was quite a job for not only the police, Sheriff's Department, Highway Patrol, but the backup police reserve as well. Right. Out in force last night. But apparently came off without incident, and no fires set by the fireworks. They did have some problems in the Twin Cities with that last night, you know. Several small fires were set by their fireworks displays. Well, now we go to sports, is that right?
Correct.
And some fireworks in Milwaukee. Kent Herbeck's bat coming alive again. For the second time in 3 games, Herbeck hit a pair of home runs yesterday and led the Twins to a 3-1 victory over the Brewers as Minnesota took 3 of 4 games in that weekend series in Milwaukee. The Twins will be home until the All-Star break next week. They open a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox at the Metrodome tonight. Fred Tolliver, who's 0-1, will be on the mound for Minnesota. Wes Gardner, who's 2-1, is scheduled to pitch for the Red Sox. The 4th of July offered all kinds of fireworks in the big leagues. For example, in Kansas City, the Royals pulled off the first triple play against the Boston Red Sox in 23 years. The wipeout began when Jim Rice hit a liner to center. With runners on first and second, Willie Wilson charged, caught the ball at his shoe tops. Wilson's throw to the infield nailed one runner, and Frank White's relay gunned down the other at first. No matter, Boston won by a score of 9-2. In Arlington, Texas, Rangers pitcher Charlie Huff tied a major league record by striking out 4 batters in the first inning. The veteran knuckleballer whiffed Claudell Washington, but he took first on a pass ball. Huff responded by sending Jack Clark, Dave Winfield, and Mike Pagliarulo down swinging, but the Yanks appeared to solve the knuckleball mystery. They ultimately teed off on Huff and buried the Rangers by a score of 13-2. And the umpires really used the hook in yesterday's 16-inning game in Cleveland between the Indians and Oakland. The men in blue ejected a Cleveland shortstop, Julio Franco, and manager Doc Edwards for arguing a strike call. And right fielder Corey Snyder and third base coach Johnny Gorel got kicked out over a foul ball call. The Tribe also lost the game to Oakland 4-2, so the Twins remain 6 games back of the A's in that American League West race. Now, as far as the rest of the league is concerned, these were all the scores then. In the American League, Oakland 4, Cleveland 2 in 16 innings. Detroit over Seattle 5-3. The White Sox beat Baltimore 5-1. California 11, Toronto 6, Boston 9, Kansas City 2, the Yankees 13, Texas 2, and the Twins 3, Milwaukee 1. In the National League, the Chicago Cubs over San Francisco 3-2. Cincinnati defeated the Mets 5-1, so the Cubs gained some ground. Atlanta over Philadelphia 7-0, and Los Angeles defeated St. Louis 5-3, while Montreal beat Houston 7-4, and in 10 innings, San Diego over Pittsburgh 4-3. Sweden's Stefan Edberg put a lid on this year's Wimbledon Tennis Championships by winning the men's singles title. Edberg denied Boris Becker his 3rd men's crown by defeating the West German 4-6, 7-6, 6-4, 6-2 in the match suspended by rain Sunday. Wimbledon's history, but there's still plenty of action this week for tennis buffs, including the ongoing U.S. Pro Championships in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, and the Hall of Fame Championships in Newport, Rhode Island. Bob Charles parlayed 3 straight rounds of 69 into a $52,000 paycheck. The New Zealanders' consistent golf resulted in a 2-stroke victory over Gary Player in the Seniors Gold Rush Tournament near Sacramento, California. The United States was awarded the 1994 World Cup, soccer's most prestigious event. The sports governing body reports the U.S. received 10 votes, Morocco 7, and Brazil 2. And the 1994 edition of the Cup will involve 52 games in 12 grass stadium sites across the country, lasting 30 days in June and July. And the host, the United States, automatically qualifies for the 24-nation event. And closer to home, competition opened yesterday in the Sons of Norway USA Cup International Youth Soccer Tournament. That's being held in Blaine. The tournament runs through Saturday in the Blaine Sports Complex. The meet features more than 4,000 athletes from 252 teams in 12 countries and 19 states. And that's sports for the moment. A sports question will be involved in our trivia quiz, but first we'll take a look at that fish forecast. And it doesn't look too bad for you anglers. On today, we'll have a little bit of action until 7:30 this morning, then a gradual descent out of the good range until 9:30 a.m. The evening hours look good, though, from 5 until 10, and great from 7 until 9 p.m. Now, Vicki, I guess it's time for the trivia quiz question of the day, right?
Okay, right.
And in the sports area, this involves the game. Well, I can't say what the game is because that's a question, all right? Okay. What is the only sport that has a rule against left-handed players?
It's a tough one.
It is. I didn't know. Charlie Pasick knows.
Yes, he does.
So if you have the answer, call us at 625-7905.
Right. Okay, Mr. Food is up next. Today he will be talking about his cheese of the month. And one cheese that you don't hear too much about is farmstead cheeses, and they're cheeses that are kind of native to different areas around the country. And that's the cheese that he's picked today to talk about. Here's Mr. Food.
It's time to name a cheese of the month. And with right now starting the big vacation time of the year, we're going to be traveling a little or a lot someplace where we'll find local cheeses, also called farmstead. They're local cheeses that are the signature of each region, like very sharp, crumbly cheddar in Vermont. Well, it's tongue-tingling sharp. But there's also Vermont brie and camembert and farmer's cheese. Now, certainly there's goat cheese. In Vermont or here, every place in the country has local goat cheese. And goat cheese really tells all of the local cheese stories, because it's not factory made. It's usually made from milk that isn't any more than 24 hours old. It's fresh. It's cared for. It's babied and pampered. Now that sort of guarantees the quality. Many times, it's a local guy making and selling it at a stand. We here in the Midwest have more than our share. We can find them easy. Even our supermarkets carry some of them. There's all kinds of cheddars and grating cheeses and mozzarellas and Monterey Jacks and Colbys and Cole Jack, and there's varieties we never even heard of before. They can all be an exciting new taste experience. Maybe as a lunch alongside a backcountry road. Nice way to smell the flowers. So, in your traveling these months, if you want to really taste the area, look for some of their pride, their local cheese. What a way to say, ooh, it's so good.
If you're looking for quality auto parts at reasonable prices, shop your nearby Auto Value Parts store.
Buy a set of Moog cargo coils and get an Auto Value Igloo Little Playmate cooler worth $12.99 free. Offer good until July 31st.
Auto Value Parts stores give you professional service and save you money.
Auto Value. Quality auto parts for less.
Available at these Auto Value stores in Elmore and Mountain Lake and Arnold Motor Supply stores.
Experience Germany and Minnesota. Visit Heritage Fest in New Ulm July 14th through the 17th. Performers direct from West Germany, along with New Ulm's own Concord singers. Hear Master Yodeler Bavaria Richard Brandl. Shake hands with Heritage Fest's German Gnome family and Gertie the Goose. Run in Saturday's 2-mile and 10K race. Enjoy a unique Heritage Fest parade Sunday at 12:30, and much more to see and do all weekend. Thursday, July 14th through Sunday the 17th in New Ulm. This message sponsored by Northland Beverage and RC.
Well, we neglected to say what our prize was today.
This is a happy coincidence coming out of that spot.
That's right. It will be 2 tickets again for the Heritage Fest. We've been giving them over the past week, and that will be held the 14th through the 17th.
That's a good prize. You know, those adult tickets are worth $5 a piece.
Mm-hmm. Nice prize.
We have a winner.
Yes, we do. A very happy winner.
Now, the question again was, what is the only sport that does not allow left-handed players? Is that right?
Right, and the answer is polo. All players must be right-handed.
I didn't know that.
I guess if you're a polo fan, you might know that one. Our winner was Mike Wantock over in Mowassika. So we'll send those tickets right out to you, Mike.
Congratulations, Mike. Okay, and we have a item here now on Daybreak regarding citrus trees, and these trees, of course, and shrubs have been a particular problem during this hot, dry weather. But this subject concerns debittering citrus trees. It's from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and this is it.
Bitter compounds called limonoids are found in some citrus fruit, particularly navel oranges, grapefruits, tangerines, and lemons. The bitterness makes the juice less desirable for many consumers. Now scientists with the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Pasadena, California, have found a way to eliminate the bitter taste. They spray a chemical compound called NAA on the fruit while it is still growing on the trees. The chemical stops the young fruit from developing bitter compounds. NAA is already being used commercially by growers to prevent apple and pear trees from dropping fruit prematurely. Dr. Shin Hashigawa with the Agricultural Research Service heads a team of scientists working on the project.
Major problem in the citrus industry is juice after extraction becomes bitter. So we try to solve the problem. This problem is cost the consumer millions and millions of dollars annually. And California alone, about $8 million.
Dr. Hashigawa points out that currently there are methods to reduce bitterness while the fruit is being processed, but these techniques are relatively expensive. The post-harvest treatment will not be necessary if the bitter limonoid compounds are eliminated while the fruit is still on the tree, he says. The scientists completed extensive laboratory evaluation of NAA before they started the field tests this year. Only a small amount of the chemical is used in the spraying operation. Greenhouse tests have shown considerable success in reducing the bitter compounds. A new way to take the bitterness out of citrus fruit. Will Pemble reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Haybine, the first, the best, the one for you. The name Haybine first appeared on a new concept in haymaking back in 1964. Today, they're still rated #1 in cutting and conditioning heavy down and tangled crops. The first, the best, the one for you. Haybine says it all.
See Dave or Ken at Amboy Implement. They stand behind what they sell.
Well, the special events that are coming up involve one that's already underway, and that's Bend of the River Days in Mankato. Officially got underway way back on the 15th of June with the introduction of the Queen candidates, and as we mentioned, Carol Adamson was named Queen of the Bend of the River Festival for this year last night during the festivities on the 4th of July at Blakesley Field. Tomorrow, Bend of the River Festival stamp collection sale will take place in the Madison East Mall from 10 until 4. And tomorrow night from 7:30, the BMX motocross race at Rasmussen Park off Stoltzman Road. And that will begin at 7:30. And on Thursday, we'll have the beginning of North Mankato Fun Days. Always a highlight of Bend of the River Days. And the 6th annual Riverbend Striders Volks March will be held in conjunction with Bend of the River Days on Friday and Saturday. People of all ages are encouraged to take part. Children under 12 must be accompanied by an adult. Now, a Volks March is a leisurely walk through a scenic or historic area over a pre-marked route. The walk is non-competitive. It is excellent for the entire family. The event is held rain or shine. We hope it's held in the rain this year.
Yeah.
And what else do we have going?
Well, we've got a note here that starting tomorrow, the city of North Mankato will initiate the first phase of a recycling program similar to what Mankato and Madison Lake are doing. The city will provide curbside collection of newspaper and cardboard. Collection will be bi-monthly, not with the garbage pickup as Mankato is doing. It will be with the Hilltop area collected on the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of each month, and the lower area will be collected on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday. So you might want to keep that in mind when...
Yeah, by the way, Mankato is involved now in the 2nd phase of this recycling program, collecting aluminum and glass.
Right.
And we'll have a news feature on that today or tomorrow. So you want to watch for that.
Right.
Okay, well, how about a little music? Want to polka our way out this morning?
Sounds good.
Ernie Koopman and the Stagemen and the New Ulm Waltz. Thank you, Ernie, and thank you, Vicki, for letting me share your breakfast table with you this morning.
Nice having you in this morning.
Thank you. We'll take a quick look at the weather once again. Hot and humid, but breezy today with highs from 93 to 98 under sunny skies. Winds out of the south at 15 to 25. Tonight and tomorrow, continued hot and humid, lows in the middle 70s, highs tomorrow in the middle to upper 90s. Winds tonight continued out of the south at 10 to 20 miles per hour with an almost zero outlook as far as precipitation is concerned.
No good.
So, well, thanks for joining us on Daybreak. We'll look forward to seeing you on noontime.
Have a good day.